RFK Jr. joined Joe Rogan on his podcast, and it got stupid fast.
Wi-Fi radiation is does all kinds of bad things, including causing cancer. But cancer's not the worst thing. They also, it opens up. Wi-Fi radiation opens up your blood-brain barrier.
Do you see anything online of how it could open up your blood-brain barrier?
I don't know about how, but that
it does.
I found an article. I was trying to find the validity of it, but it has a statement on here.
Damage to the blood-brain barrier. Radio frequency radiation exposure has been shown to affect the permeability of the blood-brain barrier, as well as altering the expression of microRNA within the brain, which researchers state could lead to adverse effects such as neurodegenerative disease. Whoa. How come we don't know that? The findings were followed by suppression, misinformation, and a shutdown of government-funded research in the United States.
It's the same play.
Oh, we got to get rid of Wi-Fi.
Stupid. We got to get rid of Wi-Fi, everybody. Leaky brain. Oh my God. Okay, so the website, by the way, that they brought up, the fact check was from RFK Jr.'s own website. He cited himself. Oops. Wow. Again, where do I start? Oh, let's start with this. RFK Jr. is a crank. I said it. Why? Because he believes in the same things. And he admits, by the way, these things are outside of his expertise. When Joe Rogan asked, and there was a different part of this video, how does Wi-Fi radiation open up your blood-brain barrier, right? And he says, well, you've gone beyond my expertise. And then went on to cite, quote unquote, tens of thousands of studies showing the horrendous danger of Wi-Fi radiation. If it's outside of your expertise, why are you saying it? Why are you, making these claims and then citing yourself for these claims? Why? Well, it's because there are people on the internet who will believe just about anything. Leaky brain. Talk about leaky brain. Okay, so let's go to the claims about Wi-Fi. Again, thousands of studies, he says, they exist. Nope, not thousands of studies, nope. In fact, there's never been a randomized trial assessing the cause and effect relationship between radio frequency emissions, or RF, and cancers. Not that I know of. And the reason that there hasn't really been one of those is because half of the randomly selected subjects would have to, in order to study this, would have to be away from any sort of Wi-Fi, which tends to mean you'd have to avoid using a cell phone. How likely is that to happen? Again, for a randomized study, you would have to find half of your group not using any form of Wi-Fi or cell phone technology. Are you going to go to a Amish community and do your study there? I suppose you could. Otherwise, I don't see how you could actually study that. But let me explain more about Wi-Fi. Okay, so basically, Wi-Fi radiation is a radio wave. It's basically similar to the spectrum of a cell phone signal or television signal. It's within that range. Okay, now it's actually a higher frequency Wi-Fi, and these signals are classified as non-ionizing radiation sources. So now, non-ionizing radiation is actually okay. Ionizing radiation, not good. That's the stuff that actually does harm you and cause cancer. So now, so far, multiple studies shown that non-ionizing radiation has no harmful effects in the human body. Ionizing radiation, again, that's the stuff that breaks your DNA. Okay? That's the stuff that can cause cancer. Okay? Now, there is another radiation that comes from, Wi-Fi devices, cell phones, all that, and that's thermal. So that's just heat. But they don't generate enough heat to be harmful. Okay? unless you're standing at the base of a radio tower or in the middle of I should say, a microwave beam that's multi-megawatt, then yeah, it's going to get hot. It's going to get hot. But your router is going to be fine. Your cell phone is going to be fine. In fact, the data from the National Cancer Institute shows no increase of the incidence of primary brain tumors over the period of time that cell phones have been in use. Now, as for the non-thermal effects, scientific evidence is insufficient and inconsistent with claiming any harm from using Wi-Fi. Present data does not provide clear evidence of any adverse effect in people, humans, be it children or adults. Now, there's one more fun thing, right? So I was looking up, doing the research, and I found that there was a study claiming some adverse effect on using wireless internet on the sperm counts, right? And a negative correlation between daily duration of mobile phone use and sperm count. Oh no, they're coming from the sperms. Okay. Well, there's issues with that, of course. For one, the study didn't make clear what type of device the men used to access the wireless internet. Exposure to wireless internet was also not controlled for mobile phone use and other issues. And so what it made me think is that maybe there's, a lot of these men are putting laptops on their lap. Now, laptops, they all come with Wi-Fi, okay? Well, what happens when you put your laptop on your lap for hours and hours at a time? Laptop's going to get hot. Of course, it's that thermal energy, right? From the battery. And again, maybe some of it from the Wi-Fi, but mainly, again, these computers are going to get hot. Well, what happens when you put something hot in your lap for hours at a time? It's not going to do well for your sperm, is it? No, no. So this guy, so these people, theoretically putting laptops in their lap, and then they find out they have low sperm counts. They're like, oh, it must be the Wi-Fi. No, it's not the Wi-Fi. It's the heat from the computer itself that is making it, again, kind of unlivable for your sperm. You've got to keep it at a certain temperature, It's basically doing that, keeping your laptop on your lap when it's hot and not thinking anything of it, that's going to do a lot more harm to your little guys than any sort of Wi-Fi signal. Okay? And again, the reason I bring that up is kind of an example of how people can avoid the most obvious answers for things happening than in favor of pushing nonsense conspiracy theories. Okay? So, yeah, if you're worried about your sperm count, make sure your area, your junk is not getting too overheated. Okay? That's all I'm saying. But here's the thing. People like RFK Jr., today, it's never been a better time to be RFK Jr. Because you have a lot of people that believe in a lot of crazy things. And there's a lot of people that have no more trust in our institutions. There are people that have very little scientific literacy. There's a lot of misinformation that goes viral on social media, online. And so, it's, again, when it comes to tracking down and fighting back against disinformation, it's very difficult. Very difficult. So now, here's another thing that RFK Jr. Said that was wrong. He recently spoke with Jordan Peterson. And he was on Jordan Peterson's podcast. Well, I'm here to talk to you with RFK Jr. about how the water is transing your children. No, I'm not kidding. This is one of their arguments. Here's what he said on that video that was removed from YouTube. Quote, I think a lot of the problems we see in kids, and particularly boys, it's probably underappreciated how much of that is coming from chemical exposures, including a lot of sexual dysphoria that we're seeing. They're swimming through a soup of toxic chemicals today, and many of those are endocrine disruptors. There's atrazine throughout our water supply, he said. Atrazine, by the way, if you In a lab, put atrazine in a tank full of frogs, it will chemically castrate and forcibly feminize every frog in there. And 10% of the frogs, the male frogs, will turn to fully viable females able to produce viable eggs. If it's doing that to frogs, it could. There's a lot of other evidence that it's doing to human beings as well. I'm not kidding. That was RFK Jr. literally going Alex Jones.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Here we go. Here we go. So, look, that's not to say that atrazine is a good thing. And if it's in the water supply, you got to get it out. Now, in fact, what atrazine could do, according to a 2010 University of California, Berkeley study, exposure is highly correlated with low sperm count. Seems to be a theme with all these people. Very, very concerned about sperm counts. Poor semen quality and impaired fertility in humans. But there's nothing in any of the studies that says that it transes you. It doesn't trans human beings. There is no chemical that creates gender dysphoria. There's no science behind that at all. It's just transphobia. That's all it is. Look, here's the thing. RFK Jr. is running as a Democrat. But I think he has figured out, apparently, how to get some people on the right to come over. And that's just be an unhinged conspiracy theorist, because that's what they have on the right wing. But at the same time, let's not forget here that there are some on the left that, and you can go back my videos years and years and years and years ago, where I was fighting anti-vax sentiment on the left. They were the OG anti-vaxxers, people, celebrities like Jenny McCarthy. So it looks like RFK Jr. is maybe trying to get that back. Go back to those days where it wasn't just the right wing that were the insane conspiracy theorists. Bring back a little bit of that to the left. Let's hope that he's not successful.